A closer look beneath the neon surface reveals a very different experience awaiting today's Las Vegas visitor. Instead of the familiar glamour, guests are hit almost immediately with a barrage of charges: $60 just to check in, $50 in resort fees, and $25 for a single cocktail. One frustrated traveler summed it up online: "This deliberate push is exactly why we end up sleeping in our car." The casinos are intentionally squeezing out the middle class. And the numbers back that sentiment. Tourism data shows an 11.3% drop in visitors for June alone, meaning about 400,000 fewer people, pushing Las Vegas into one of its worst tourism slumps in years. The first major cause becomes clear when looking at the industry's own strategy: an intentional filtering of customers. This was spelled out openly by Caesars Entertainment CEO Tom Reeg during a 2023 call with investors, where he stated that they are actively phasing out the lowest-spending guests, and that he sees no reason to reverse course. Think about that, one of the world's biggest casino operators openly admitting to pushing away a massive chunk of their traditional audience. The second major issue is the fading of what once made Las Vegas magical. The city's era of accessible wonder is disappearing. Families used to gather for free spectacles: the roaring Mirage volcano and the dramatic pirate battles at Treasure Island. But that chapter has ended, and nothing illustrates this more than the fate of the Mirage volcano itself, an attraction cherished since 1989. The Mirage volcano, an icon since 1989, was finally torn down in August 2024 to make way for Hard Rock's massive guitar-shaped hotel tower. Crowds packed the sidewalks during its final eruption, desperate to witness one last spark of old Las Vegas before it vanished forever. But this wasn't an isolated loss. The legendary pirate shows at Treasure Island, first the Battle of Buccaneer Bay, later rebranded as Sirens of TI, entertained millions over 2 decades before disappearing in 2013. These weren't just spectacles, they were free attractions that drew enormous foot traffic and helped create the electric street energy that fueled the high-stakes gaming rooms. Even smaller attractions are being erased. The shutdown of Marvel's Avengers Station at Treasure Island on January 1, 2024 left yet another empty space where wonder once lived. All of this ties directly into the city's new fixation: catering almost exclusively to high-net-worth gamblers. So who exactly are the casinos chasing? The answer is simple: the whales. The elite few who drop millions in a single night. People like Australian billionaire James Packer, known for placing enormous bets at spots like the Bellagio and the Venetian, or Floyd Mayweather, whose appetite for high-stakes gambling is practically legendary. For these VIPs, Las Vegas rolls out a fantasy-level experience: private jets and helicopters, chauffeured Rolls-Royces and Bentleys, and penthouse villas so exclusive they can only be accessed through personal invitations. But there's a hidden truth buried beneath the glamour. Research presented in John Idamo's book Legalized Gambling, America's Bad Bet reveals that the bulk of casino revenue doesn't come from billionaires, it comes from everyday Americans, especially those in the lower and lower middle income brackets. In other words, Las Vegas is actively turning away the very people who keep its gaming floors alive. This leads to the fourth major part of the shift: strategic price gouging. The tactics used to deter the average visitor are brazen. Resort fees have exploded across the Strip. MGM properties alone raised their mandatory charges by another $3 to $8 per night in December 2024, their second hike in 1 year. These fees now sit between $40 and $55 a night, piled on top of already soaring room rates. A far more subtle, and far more damaging, tactic has also crept into the system: the quiet manipulation of gaming odds. Industry experts point out that blackjack tables offering the downgraded 6-to-5 payout have now become standard across the Strip, replacing the long-standing 3-to-2 ratio. It sounds minor, but the impact is enormous. A natural blackjack on a $10 bet used to return $15. Now it pays barely $12. Over time, this silent shift drains millions from ordinary players while making the house significantly richer. This financial squeeze hits visitors from every angle. food and beverage prices have reached surreal heights. Social media is full of evidence: $50 water bottles, $25 cocktails, $30 pancakes. One frustrated guest summed it up perfectly: $25 drinks, $30 pancakes, $35 burgers, and then you're still expected to tip. On top of these inflated prices, the now standard 20% gratuity has become a breaking point for many travelers. This leads to the fifth and most human part of the story: the toll on the workers who keep Las Vegas running. Consider the experience of Holly Lang, a 47-year-old cocktail server at the MGM Grand, who observed, "Tips have dropped dramatically. There are fewer people walking the casino floor, and even fewer gambling." Her experience isn't unique. Another hospitality worker reported that their tip income has fallen by half compared to the previous summer, blaming corporate upselling requirements, cookie-cutter restaurant concepts, and an atmosphere where authentic hospitality feels like a relic of the past. One waitress on the Strip shared her reality on TikTok, saying, "This time last year, I'd make between $300 and $500 in tips per shift. Today, I'm going home with $124. The pressure on workers mirrors the growing frustration among tourists. One visitor at the Flamingo Hotel discovered an unexpected $60 fee just to check in early, added on top of the room they had already paid for. Their post about the experience quickly went viral, resonating with many who felt similarly squeezed. Looking at the actual data, the situation becomes even more alarming. Key metrics show hotel occupancy dipping by 2.1 percentage points to 78.9%, and average daily room rates falling 5.5% to $185. As a result, revenue per available room has dropped 7.6%. But the most concerning figure is the collapse in casino net income. Profits on the Strip plunged by an astonishing 40.4% in 2024, despite overall revenue increasing by 6.2%. In simple terms, casinos are making more money than before but keeping far less of it, an unmistakable sign of a business model that is fundamentally breaking down. Another issue lies in property taxes, an area casino executives seldom highlight. The city celebrated a record $382.7 million in room tax collections in 2024, an 8.1% rise, but this momentum is already fading. Forecasts for 2025 predict a slowdown, and the budget is being adjusted downward. About one-third of these tax revenues go to the local tourism authority, while the rest support schools and transportation projects. With Las Vegas already facing a $110 million budget deficit and total tax revenue expected to fall 5.6% to $418 million, the consequences are serious. When tourism weakens, the impact ripples across the entire community in the form of tighter public budgets and the possibility of increased taxes on residents. To understand the dynamic at play, imagine a football stadium where the luxury suites are filled, but the general seating is nearly empty. How long would those in the premium boxes continue paying top-tier prices when they are the ones carrying the atmosphere of the entire venue? This metaphor reflects what's happening in Las Vegas today. Interestingly, casinos located away from the Strip, those serving everyday local residents, are thriving, reporting revenue growth of up to 50%. Meanwhile, the flagship Strip casinos are struggling. The contrast highlights a simple truth: businesses that remain accessible and community-focused are succeeding, while those that bank solely on high-end tourism are rapidly losing ground. Local casinos still understand a simple truth: the energy and the crowd are what keep the city alive. As one observer pointed out, big corporations have broken an unspoken deal with everyday visitors. People expected to lose some money gambling, that was always part of the experience, but in return they expected decent food, clean rooms, and access to basic amenities like the pool. That balance has been completely upended. Residents are noticing the shift too. One local explained that they used to enjoy spending time on the Strip, but now everything fun is buried under endless upcharges. "When I say nickel-and-diming," they said, "I mean $25 nickels and $10 dimes." Others blame the growing monopoly power in the city. When two major companies, MGM and Caesars, took over most of the casino market, the city's entire identity began to change. Monopolies rarely benefit consumers, and Las Vegas is proving the point. Even traditions that defined the city were altered after the pandemic. Iconic spots like the Peppermill and several strip favorites stopped operating around the clock, breaking the 24-hour culture Vegas was famous for. Even those within the industry are beginning to speak out. An anonymous employee of a major gaming corporation shared a blistering statement, saying the policies of these companies are destroying the city. Executives and vice presidents earn bonuses for slashing costs and enforcing rigid budgets, all while hiking prices to extremes. According to the employee, their company even cut most of its live entertainment and replaced those spaces with outside vendors, simply because it boosts profit margins. And now, the rest of the travel industry is watching. As Las Vegas continues pricing out the average visitor and drifting away from its roots, competing destinations are stepping in, eager to attract the very tourists Vegas is pushing away. Value-focused travelers are now drifting toward smaller desert towns just outside Las Vegas, where newly refreshed resorts and reasonably priced casinos are winning over the very visitors the Strip has pushed away. At the same time, Atlantic City is positioning itself as a cheaper alternative, while destinations like Napa Valley and Cabo San Lucas are rolling out experience-based travel packages that offer far better value when compared to today's overpriced Vegas experience. One travel agent summed it up perfectly: if a traveler can book an all-inclusive trip to Mexico for less than a weekend in Las Vegas, of course they're choosing Mexico. They added that Las Vegas used to be one of their best-selling recommendations, but now, almost no one asks about it. In their words, corporate greed has eaten the brand alive. The situation is even worse on the international front. The decline isn't limited to American tourists. Canada, which has historically been Las Vegas's largest international market, is pulling back sharply. Many Canadian travelers are not only canceling Vegas trips but avoiding the US entirely, influenced partly by ongoing political tensions. Industry reports back this up, showing major drops in international spending across the United States, with estimated losses between $12 billion and $29 billion. This places the US among the few major global economies currently seeing an actual decline in international tourism revenue. But there's a deeper truth that casino executives rarely discuss. This strategic pivot toward high prices and low hospitality isn't just greed, it's rooted in fear. Younger generations simply aren't interested in visiting physical casinos anymore. Instead, they're turning to online gambling, where dozens of platforms are instantly accessible on their phones without ever leaving home. In 2024 alone, the US online gambling market hit a staggering value of $12.68 billion, and it's still growing. This shift toward online gambling is now posing a direct and serious threat to the traditional Las Vegas business model. Instead of innovating or adapting to the changing landscape, major casino corporations have tightened the financial screws on the shrinking number of people who still show up in person. One statistic makes the decline painfully clear. As of March 2025, only 8 all-you-can-eat buffets remain on the Strip, a steep fall from the dozens that operated just a few years ago. The few that survived have doubled or even tripled their prices, all while offering lower-quality food and slipping service standards. Buffets once embodied the spirit of Las Vegas, a place where a construction worker from Ohio and a millionaire from Manhattan could eat in the same room without feeling out of place. Today, that democratic symbol is essentially gone. This collapse aligns with the warning from UNLV economics professor Stephen Miller, who predicts a slow contraction through 2026 and expects gross gaming revenue to drift back to pre-pandemic levels as savings and disposable income finally stabilize. Alongside these shifts, long-time local businesses are being pushed out entirely. A striking example is the Poker Palace, a family-run North Las Vegas casino operating since 1974, which will close permanently in October 2025, leaving 126 people without jobs. So the real question is, what comes next? Las Vegas has reached a critical turning point. It can continue chasing ultra-wealthy visitors while its core market disappears, or it can return to the accessibility, spectacle, and energy that once made the city a global icon. A few voices in the industry are starting to acknowledge this. Tourism consultant Desiree Stokes-Bloom has called for a moratorium on resort fees to help revive travel to southern Nevada. Yet so far, only one major property has dropped these fees. At the same time, the Nevada Gaming Control Board is considering regulatory changes that would make it easier for private gaming salons to operate, though critics argue that this would only make the city even more exclusive than it already is. But meaningful recovery requires going back to the basics. No business can survive by systematically driving away its core customers. Which brings us to you. Have you personally experienced price gouging in Las Vegas? Have you noticed fewer attractions, higher costs, or a shift in the overall atmosphere? Your first-hand experiences reveal far more than any corporate profit report ever will, so feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. If you want more deep-dive analysis into how America's major destinations are changing, and what that means for travelers, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next breakdown. And now the bigger question, is Las Vegas sabotaging itself by chasing only high rollers, or is this shift simply a necessary adaptation to the new economy? Share your perspective below.